Let me tell you why I really loved Hylics 2. Hylics 2 is a light, turn-based RPG and adventure game created by Mason Lindroth. The music is by Mason Lindroth and Chuck Salamone. Hylics 2 was released in 2020. The game looks like nothing else you've ever played. The main reason you'll want to play this game is for the unique and abstract audio and visuals. The game is a walking art museum, and you'll be spending your time exploring, battling, and platforming to progress through the game. As long as you take your time and you're perceptive about the locations you visit, you should never get stuck. The game doesn't waste your time. It feels good to navigate through the world, especially after your second party member. The movement is really fast with a run and dash button. The number of enemies is low, and it makes every battle feel like a strong challenge to overcome. There's a really nice feedback loop within the game. You want to explore the world in order to see all the unique visuals, and by doing so you're rewarded with new party members and gestures that make you stronger, and therefore you want to continue to explore. There's even a 2D platformer minigame that's enjoyable to play through. Now the game's hard, it doesn't hold your hand, but it's very well balanced and rewarding. There's only one time where I felt a death was unfair. It was a battle where multiple enemies had multiple turn stun moves and I wasn't able to act. There's no traditional experience system, and I believe the game's difficulty is balanced while even keeping damage numbers relatively low. Your growth will be managing and finding new party members, and finding TVs to learn new gestures. The combat still rewards you with currency to manage buying your items and gear, meat which you will grind up for more health, and antennas which you will eventually turn in to power up your charge gesture. Because of this, no character loses out on growth even if they die before the end of the fight. The battles in Hylics 2 are truly quality over quantity. Every encounter is a challenge and requires your constant attention. Each enemy and group of enemies requires a different strategy. There aren't too many times where you're able to fight more than one encounter before needing to heal, but this isn't a problem because they give you ways to heal throughout the areas in the game. This difficulty also taught me the importance of items. You get consumable items through shops and battle rewards. With the low number of health and will, it had me constantly checking and using my supply of items. This is a huge compliment to the game because other RPGs, my consumable items are usually stockpiled and I never use them until the end of the game. Surprisingly, there's no way to run from any of the enemy encounters, which is an odd choice. However, with the low number of encounters and the challenge they present, I found myself able to respect this design choice. If things seemed impossible, there's a perish gesture, which will instantly bring you to the afterlife area. There's no real punishment for dying besides having to walk back to where you died. There was still that feeling of progression since the afterlife is where you can heal and grind meat for more health. This put me in a mindset where I was bracing myself and looking forward to challenging encounters, but never getting too frustrated when I lost. I was having some trouble until a little over halfway through the game, when I found enough gestures and items to form a semi-consistent strategy. There were story moments that provided a feeling of progression, but the game was over before I knew it. It's about 8 hours, and while I do feel satisfied by the end of it, I do feel that I would have enjoyed more content. The music comes in two flavors, abstract and psychedelic rock. I can try to appreciate the more abstract music in the game as it complements the visuals, but I enjoy the music the most when it explodes into a psychedelic guitar melody. Sometimes there's a lot going on in battle, like when there's a lot of status effects active. The damage numbers will appear beneath those active statuses, making it hard to see how much damage is given and taken. I would move the damage number to show it above everything else. In a game where there's so much visual stimuli, it's important to make the critical information as clear as possible. Given the abstract visual design, the overworld islands can look a bit similar to one another, minus the important landmarks. As long as it doesn't interfere with the creator's original visual intent, I would have liked to have seen each island colored a bit differently as to make the locations look a bit more identifiable and distinct from one another. Movement on the ground is fast and responsive, and I would have liked to have had that feeling translate over to flying the airship. A small quality of life change I would like to see is a faster speed added parallel to running. The landing pad needs to be pretty accurate when wanting to land, and it feels a little awkward to turn when overshooting the landing pad. So making the space a little bit bigger or having a reverse button when flying the ship might make it feel a little better. you.